Have you ever felt like you just don't fit in? Like you're a square peg trying to squeeze into a round hole? Well, today I want to share a powerful story that might just change the way you see yourself. It's the story of a lion who was raised by sheep. Imagine this. A pregnant lioness, exhausted and alone, gives birth to a tiny cub just before she takes her last breath. This little cub, now an orphan, is found by a flock of sheep. Instead of running away, the motherly instinct of one of the ewes kicks in. She adopts the cub, raising him as one of her own. So, this little lion grows up surrounded by sheep. He learns to walk like a sheep, talk like a sheep, and eat grass like a sheep. He bleats when they bleat. He huddles when they huddle. He looks in the water and sees a reflection that's a little different. Sure, his fur is golden, and his face is a bit more fierce, but everyone around him is a sheep, so he must be a sheep too, right? He just thinks he's a slightly odd-looking one. He tries his best to fit in, munching on grass even though it never quite satisfies him, and bleating with all his might, though his voice comes out as a squeaky, muffled roar. The other sheep are kind, but they always keep a little distance. They can't quite put their hoof on it, but there's something different about him. He feels it too, a strange emptiness, a longing for something he can't name. Years go by, and our lion grows bigger and stronger, but inside, he's still just a confused sheep. He's gentle, he's timid, and he's deeply unhappy. He tries to be a good sheep, but the grass tastes bland, and a strange fire burns in his belly that he doesn't understand. He feels a pull towards the distant mountains, a whisper on the wind that sounds nothing like a bleat. One day, an old, majestic lion, a true king of the savannah, is passing by and sees this bizarre sight. A magnificent young lion, in his prime, grazing in a field with a flock of sheep. The old lion is stunned. What is this powerful creature doing, nibbling on grass and bleating like a lost lamb? Curiosity gets the better of him. He approaches the flock. As soon as the sheep see him, they scatter in terror, bleating and running for their lives. But our young lion, despite being terrified, is also frozen in place. He sees a reflection of himself in this powerful being, something he's never seen before. It's both frightening and fascinating. The old lion walks up to him and says, "What are you doing here with these sheep?" The young lion, trembling, bleats back, "I'm a sheep, sir, please don't eat me." The old lion lets out a hearty laugh. "A sheep? You? Look at you. You are not a sheep. You are a lion." The young lion just shakes his head in disbelief, bleating pitifully that he's just a simple sheep. He's lived this identity his whole life. It's all he knows. The wise old lion understands. He knows that telling him isn't enough. He has to show him. So, he leads the trembling young lion to a still, clear lake. "Look," the old lion commands, his voice firm but kind. "Look into the water." The young lion hesitantly peers over the edge. At first, he sees the familiar face of a sheep beside him, the old lion's reflection. But then, he looks at his own. He sees his powerful jaw, his sharp teeth, the golden mane just beginning to sprout around his neck, and his piercing amber eyes. He looks at the old lion, then back at his own reflection. For the first time, he truly sees himself, not as an odd sheep, but as a lion. A wave of confusion, shock, and dawning realization washes over him. All the strange feelings, the unfulfilled hunger, the deep rumbling in his chest, it all starts to make sense. The old lion then leans down, takes a deep breath, and lets out a thunderous, earth-shaking roar. The sound echoes across the plains, full of power, confidence, and authority. It's a sound that speaks of freedom and strength. He looks at the young lion and says, "Now, you try." The young lion is hesitant. All his life, he's only ever bleated. A roar feels alien, impossible. He opens his mouth and a weak, sheep-like sound comes out. The old lion encourages him again. "No, deeper, from your belly. You are a lion, roar like one." The young lion closes his eyes. He thinks about his reflection in the water. He thinks about the fire in his belly. He thinks about the powerful sound that just shook the ground beneath his paws. He takes a deep breath, digging down past years of fear and conditioning, and for the first time in his life, he lets out a true roar. It's not as powerful as the old lion's, not yet, but it's not a bleat. It's a real, genuine roar, a sound of awakening, a declaration of his true nature. As he hears his own voice, something inside him clicks into place. The fear melts away, replaced by a surging sense of power and belonging he has never known. he is not a sheep. He is a lion. This story is about so much more than lions and sheep. It's about you and me. How many of us are living like sheep when we were born to be lions? We grow up absorbing the beliefs and limitations of those around us. Our family, our friends, our society. They tell us what we should be, what's safe, what's acceptable. And we listen. We start to believe we are what they say we are. We eat the grass, they feed us the safe career paths, the conventional lifestyles, the limited dreams of when it leaves us feeling empty and unsatisfied. We look in the mirror and see a sheep because everyone around us is a sheep. We quiet the roar in our hearts and learn to bleat, to conform, to fit in. We ignore that inner fire, that longing for something more, because it's scary to be different. But sooner or later, life will bring you to a lake. It might be a book you read, a person you meet, a challenge you face, or even a video like this one. It's a moment of clarity where you get a glimpse of your true reflection, of your real potential. You see the lion looking back at you. And at that moment, you have a choice. You can retreat back to the flock, back to the comfort of being a sheep. Or you can listen to that wise voice, your own inner wisdom, and learn to roar. Your first roar might be quiet, uncertain. That's okay. The point is to start, to acknowledge the lion within. So I ask you again, have you been living like a sheep? Have you been grazing in a field when you were meant to roam the savannah? Maybe it's time to find your lake, to look at your true reflection and embrace the power you've been hiding. Stop bleating and start roaring. Your true life is waiting for you. Thank you so much for watching. If this story resonated with you, hit that like button and subscribe for more content to help you unleash your inner lion. Let me know in the comments what your biggest takeaway was. Until next time, stay strong and keep roaring.